Hello and welcome to Soundcheck. I'm your host, Brandon Dela Cruz, and we'd like to encourage you to listen outside the lines. Today on the show we have Ariel Petrie, and before she comes out to talk, we're going to hear a song from her called Eidolon. Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your music. When did you get started?
I got started when I was 8, I would say. I started taking piano lessons and tried to learn as much as I could classically and in the theory realm as well, like all that fun stuff. And then when I was 11, I started writing my own classical pieces, and lyrics started coming when I was 13.
Okay, do you remember what your first song was about?
Oh, goodness. Very first song.
Yeah.
There have been hundreds, so let me try to think. First song, I think it was called Oma's Song.
Okay.
And it was a classical piece that I played, and it was very like German polka music, and it was about my Oma. So.
What is that? What is?
Song. Oh, I'm sorry. Oma is German for grandma.
Okay, all right.
So it was for my grandma.
Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah. So obviously you've been writing since then. You said hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Maybe not that many, but it's been quite a few.
It's been quite a few. So when you think about songs, or let's talk a little bit about how you, what you learned from, like what were your influences when you were starting to write?
Yeah, when I started writing lyrics, I would say Sarah Bareilles was a huge influence of mine, just because she was a lot like me, and she was a role model that I could look up to. She played piano really well. She was a great singer. She wrote thought-provoking lyrics. So she was a huge inspiration as a kid and teenager writing music.
Okay. So lyrically, would you say the lyrics are really important to you? Or,
of course.
I know that's kind of a very general question, but when you write, what elements do you focus on? Like what is the important part of that song for you? What makes it your song when you write something?
That's a good question. I definitely think it has to have a very clear message to the song, whether it be positive and uplifting, whether it be about love, whether it be, kind of dark and depressing. It always has to have that hope element to it.
So then when you talk about something like that, like hope or having a message like that, what are some songs out there that have that capture that element, that really spoke to you, that said, this is maybe what I want to do, or this is how I want to do it? Is there anything like that comes to mind?
Like of someone else's?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't really know that I can think of like a specific song at a specific moment of my life that was really that influential on how I write my own songs. I think it just came from a very personal aspect of my life, where everyone needs hope, and I've been in some dark places, and so I wanted my music to reflect the hope that I wanted to feel, and so also I want to share that with other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're saying a large part of it is very therapeutic for you?
Yeah, yes.
So it's not really just for your audience, it's for you too?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, awesome.
But I try to do it in such a way that it is relatable to a larger audience and not so personal where it only applies to me, but I try to get other people in the mix too.
Do you find that difficult in the sense of you're translating your own experience into something that is supposed to go out and be wider for a wider audience? Do you have some difficulty in that? Because I could see how you have this experience that has a very strong feeling tied to it, and you're trying to express that. Do you have any difficulty with that?
Certainly. Sometimes I don't even let that song be shared with the world because it is so personal, and if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you keep
where
things
it's
to
like,
yourself.
Yeah, where I do have some songs that are very personal that I don't really share with anyone else just because it's not relatable enough to share with the world. But yeah, it is hard to take an experience, make it broad enough and applicable enough to enough people for it to be considered shareable.
It's hard. It's a tough thing to do. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing music?
Because I love it more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to college for a little bit.
Music or not?
No, not for music.
Okay.
Just to get a degree to see if there was anything else I might be interested in or see myself doing for the rest of my life. And I just didn't find that.
Really?
But
Okay.
music has really been that for me.
What do you want to do with your music? Like, what do you want to accomplish? And I don't mean like, everybody kind of says, oh, I want to win a Grammy or I want to play the Opry or whatever. What do you want to do? Like not necessarily an accomplishment, but something that you get to do with your music. What
Through music.
Yeah, the ultimate thing that you would want to do with that. What do you think?
I really love being an independent artist because I feel like I have the freedom to really express myself the way I want to express myself and not have any outside influences on my career. With that said, I think I touched on it a little bit where I want to inspire hope through my music. I want to really empower people through my music and just generally make people feel good through my music.
Okay, that's a very noble goal. Let's talk a little bit about the mechanisms of that. Specifically, when you put together a live show and you're playing live, like you're about to do here. What are your goals when you do that? Because, well, I mean, I'm assuming you have some, but what do you think about when you're trying to put that together? How are you going to communicate with the audience, or is there anything specific that you think about when you're doing that?
Not really. I am not that organized when it comes to live performance. I like to improv a lot.
Okay.
So I'll have like a general outline of like the flow of my songs in a set list form, and then maybe throw in a little encouraging note here and there between a song or two.
Like for yourself?
No, for the audience.
For the audience,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a great idea, is to write little notes for yourself on the set list.
I do put them in there, like maybe say something nice to the audience.
There you go.
Literally on the set list.
But even if you're improvising, you have to be prepared for that.
Right. So I won't write out the script, but I'll like give little cues for, like, oh, you should probably talk. Because I get so wrapped up in the singing and playing and performing that sometimes I forget, oh, it's been 5 songs and I've forgotten to say anything. So I do have to remind myself when I'm performing live, speak sometimes.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit.
This is going to come as, this is kind of a shifting gears here. What do you worry about? And and that's it might sound like a weird question, but like I think people forget that being a musician is a job, right?
Yes.
And it's like any other job that you have, and we think about people that have other jobs and they worry about how they're going to do at work or what their boss thinks of them. Like, what do you worry about day to day? Like, what concerns you?
Very much, how am I going to make money at this? So that's probably up there in things I worry about, is how can I take my talents and turn that into an actual career that I can make money off of. That's definitely up there. Other things I worry about, because it is sort of a popularity contest, and I've never been good at being popular. I wasn't popular in high school,
Me neither.
so I struggle with the whole aspect of, okay, well, I need to make fans if I'm gonna get sales, if I'm gonna get money. So worrying about, am I making enough fans? But I try not to worry about that too much. I try to just be as authentic and true to myself as I can be and not get so wrapped up in the image to try to get fans. And I try to just find avenues of finding people who might be interested in my art rather than what can I do to make people like me.
Right. And that's hard. It's such a hard thing to try to do because, like you said, it is a popularity contest, whether we want it to be or not.
Yeah.
And so what kind of response have you had from that? Have you had people that really connect and you make connections that way with people? Yeah,
for sure. In those moments where a new fan will send me a message pointing out a song, like, this song really moved me, like, this song really helped me through this situation in my life, like, that is what makes it worthwhile.
Okay. And going along with that, do you think that musicians have a responsibility to be not necessarily a role model, but like just like you're saying that you want to provide hope to people, is there some kind of obligation for a musician to be something for their fans other than just doing music for themselves?
I think that varies a lot, person to person. My opinion for myself would be yes, because that is important to me. But I think America in general takes it to such an extreme where with the paparazzi culture, once you get to a certain point, your life is on blast. And I don't think it's really fair to artists to pick apart every aspect of their personal life because they are famous or because they're an artist. So I think to an extent, I think if you're in a position where you're creating art, that should do something for people. But to say you should be that all the time, like there's a line there that separates your artistry from your personal life.
So you're saying it's a job, and there should be times when you're doing your job and times when you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think that's a good way of putting it.
So tell me, you were on X Factor.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like.
Oh, it was probably one of the most defining moments of my music career in general. Before that experience, I was just this teenager who liked writing music and liked singing in my bedroom. Didn't really have a whole lot of experience playing out, playing live. I wasn't really confident in my ability to make a career out of this. But my mom really pushed me to go. I didn't want to go.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, no, like you're going to this. And I'm like, I don't want to go. And it was up in Chicago. We were living in Central Illinois at the time. She ended up calling one of my friends out of state, getting him to fly in to go to the audition with me. And that's the only reason why I went.
Wow, that's pretty great, though.
Yeah. I'm glad she did that, and I'm glad he went with me. Gave me the courage, so to speak, to go.
So then when you got there, like what happened? How did it go?
It was crazy. It was in this huge auditorium, like arena. And they had all these little booths in the center with producers in each one. And we went into these little booths and sang a song, and they talked to us for a little bit. And I ended up getting a pass. And he's like, you're going to go to your next audition right now. And my friend didn't get one.
Oh.
So I felt so bad. I'm like, he wanted this more than I did. Like, well, kind of guilty. But it was crazy. It was a whirlwind of producer rounds after producer rounds. But I made it to the judges. There was like a live audience of I think 3,000 or 4,000 people, which was, I never even played for anything close to like that.
So that was your first performance?
Yeah, essentially it was, yeah. Yep. And I sang Make You Feel My Love by Adele.
Okay, right on.
My voice cracked on the high note, and they stopped me immediately, and I got 4 no's right off the bat. And I started to walk off stage, and I just felt like that's not how I wanted to go out. If I was gonna go out, I was gonna go out on an original song. So I turned back around, and I'm like, can I have a second chance? Like, can I sing another song? And Simon Cowell said, yeah, you have 30 seconds to change our minds.
Wow.
So I sang a very old song, When It Rains, from my very first EP. And Simon Cowell, like, looked completely struck. And he was like, Ariel, like, I don't know how you did it, but you just changed my mind. I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
And then all the other judges followed suit. And I went from 4 no's to 4 yeses.
That's great. That's fantastic. That's a good confidence booster, right?
It certainly was. It was what I needed to push me forward.
And so that's how you started.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that you did. So then from then on, it's just, everything's great, right? Since then?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, I haven't been on another reality TV show, mostly by personal choice.
Sure.
It was crazy. I didn't necessarily like that atmosphere for myself. there was a lot of pressure to be what the producers wanted you to be.
Right.
I'm kind of a stubborn person, very strong-willed,
Right.
I would say. So I didn't like that. Didn't really jive with me. So I went the independent route and been doing that really ever since.
Ever since. How long have you been in Nashville?
I've been in Nashville for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been doing music the whole time you've been here?
Yes.
How's that been? Good?
Good. Yeah.
You play oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the very first day after we moved. So we moved, got unpacked. The next day, we went to an open mic, and the lady running the open mic was like, "You're really good. I want to book you for a writer's round."
Oh,
so
wow.
like that was right off the bat, literally from the second day I've been here. I've been doing music.
Great. That's fantastic.
Every
do you,
day.
do you play around town a lot?
Last year I played about 50 shows in
Okay.
Nashville, which if you do the math, it's like one show every week. I played a lot at Cafe Lula when they did live music.
Okay.
I played the Stone Fox for my EP release party.
Stone Fox.
and
Can we
I
just
loved
stop
it.
for a minute and talk about the Stone Fox? Because I
Yes.
miss that place quite a bit.
I
It was
do
a
too.
fantastic.
It was the perfect venue for an artist like me.
Yeah.
I'm really sad to see it go.
You're also you also do acting.
I do a little bit, yeah.
So tell me about that. How did you get started doing that?
Oh, man. So I quit my day job, and I was kind of looking to make more money while I got situated as doing music freelance and singing freelance. So I needed to build up my clientele, but I also needed to make money. So my vocal coach was like, you should look into doing acting because there's a lot of background work and that pays. So that's how I got my start in acting, was because I quit my day job and I needed side money. So
Good reason to do it.
yeah, I guess.
And you do what? Commercials?
I've been in a couple commercials. I was in a Food City commercial.
Okay.
I was in a couple White Heart commercials, which are like law commercials and attorney commercials. Let's see. I've been on an episode of Nashville, background work, no speaking roles.
Okay.
But I did just get cast for a short film called Coming Down on Me.
Okay.
And I'm super excited. We start filming in 2 weeks.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
really good. What kind of movie is it?
It is a coming of age / coming out film. So I don't want to divulge too much, but my boyfriend is breaking up with me and he falls in love with my best friend, so who's a guy. So
okay.
there's drama, there's tears, there's a twist at the end, so
Wow. Well, that sounds great.
it's good stuff.
All right. Well, looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. As far as music, what are your plans? What are you doing next?
I don't really have any plans. I am still writing music. I've been writing a lot of music this year. Last year was sort of my year for playing out live and reaching new audiences. And I think this is the year of writing new music, getting in the studio, recording singles.
Okay.
So I just released a single a couple months ago called Fog,
Okay.
and I'm getting ready to work on another single. So.
And so you, when you say singles, you said it very emphatically as opposed to like an album. Is that?
Yes.
Do you feel like that's what you want to focus on?
I think so, for the time being.
Okay.
So if I had to say what my plan is, it would be singles. I think I'm going to focus more on singles instead of an EP.
Honestly, I mean, the way that things are now, it's really hard. First of all, it's really hard for musicians to produce enough music to keep up with
Yeah.
everything, but it's also hard for listeners. If an album comes out, it's I find it hard for me as somebody who used to be really into albums. It's like, even if somebody I like puts an album out, it's hard for me to set aside time to say, okay, let's listen to this whole
Yeah.
album. But if it's a
It's
single,
true.
I can be like, all right, there's a single. So I think that's a great plan. Besides music, what other interests do you have besides music?
Okay, I have sort of an eclectic assortment of things I like to do in my free time.
Mm-hmm.
I like video games. I
who
love
doesn't?
reading poetry in
Okay.
the classics, okay, just to give you an idea.
Sure.
I also love gardening. I got that hobby from my dad, I think.
What do you grow?
I grow vegetables and plants, but vegetable-wise, I grow broccoli and lettuce and spinach and tomatoes and bell peppers.
All of that stuff?
All of that stuff.
How much space do you need for that?
Not too big. Maybe.
Because I mean, a tomato's
like 18 by 6.
Okay. This is 18 inches, 18
No,
feet?
feet.
Okay.
18 feet by like 6 feet, I think.
Sure. Is
I
it
don't
in
know the
your
exact
in your
measurements.
backyard or?
Yeah,
okay.
in my backyard. Yep. We have a pretty decent sized backyard, my husband and I.
And there's nothing like there's no rabbits or anything that gets
Oh
in there?
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
what do you do about that?
Oh, well, we made this hot pepper spray.
What?
That we spray all over our plants.
Seriously?
Dead serious, because the first year, the squirrels that live in our huge oak tree in our backyard ate like all of my produce, and I was so mad.
Squirrels are such jerks.
They're so cute, and like I love squirrels.
They would cut you in a second.
I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to find someone else's veggies to eat.
So you came up with a hot pepper spray, and it doesn't affect the plants at all.
No, you can't breathe it in, or you will die, as I discovered.
Sure.
Spraying it in the wind, it gusts up my nose and into my lungs. I've learned to be very careful with that stuff. It is very potent.
But it works.
It works.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow. So and then you get the vegetables obviously and you eat them, you make things with them, and that works out.
Share them with my friends and family, because usually we have a lot. So
You have more than you need. That's great.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What are you listening to now these days?
So I'm sure it's going to start showing in my music eventually, but I've recently really been getting into the EDM scene.
Really?
I used to hate it. I used to not like it, and I thought, oh, organic instruments, so
Let me tell you
sort
something.
of hipster.
I'm sorry.
Sorta.
I don't mean to interrupt. Let me tell you about, I was at an EDM show the other night.
Okay.
Really the first one that I've ever been to in Nashville. I had a friend who was working the door, and she didn't know any of the bands. She had just been hired to work the door, and she's like, come hang out, because
Yeah.
I don't know anybody here. So I said, oh yeah, I'll come hang out. And I was just watching them set up, and we were just talking to each other, and some of them, some of the guys were dressed a little funny, kind of like, what you do. You just like, maybe this will be fun or whatever. It turns out it was amazing. It was unbelievably good. This first guy was just a DJ, but he was doing all kinds of stuff. And then the second group that came up, they were this band, and they were actually playing most of it live. And and still, like, the drop would kick in, and the guy would jump. It was amazing. It was just really,
like
really,
a
really
cool
good.
experience.
And so I'm getting into EDM too lately.
Nice, yeah.
But that's cool. So do you think you're going to go in that direction musically?
Maybe pull some influence from it. I don't think I'll go full-blown EDM, but I do have newfound appreciation for that genre.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's your favorite chord?
My favorite chord?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, I don't know.
You don't know?
They
Do you
all-
like
have
complicated
to
ones or
have-
do you like simple ones?
I think complicated ones in moderation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, some people get a little crazy with their dissonant and augmented and all of
Right.
that craziness that it's like, I don't really understand what that chord is supposed to be
Right.
and how it fits the music. So I like to keep it simple and throw in an interesting chord every once in a while just to keep people on their toes.
Okay. I personally, I'm one of those people that really loves dissonance, but I love it in the context of you have a really nice,
Yes.
sweet melodic sound, and then it
Yes.
crunches into this thing, and then it comes out. So yeah.
Exactly that.
Okay. Well, good. I'm
Yes.
glad we agree on that. So you have a website, I'm sure.
I do.
ArielPetrie.com.
It is that.
And if anybody out there wants to know more about Ariel, you can go to her website, find upcoming shows, music, videos, everything there is to know. So thank you very much for being here. It was great having you.
Yeah, I had a blast.
We're going to hear another song from you.
Yeah.
You're going to play Queen for us, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, great. really great. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Ariel Petrie, everyone, thank you so much for watching Soundcheck. Join us next time for some more great music, and don't forget to listen outside the lines. That's really good.
Thank you.
Very good.